Oh, sorry. I'm back. And that's right. Domestic rugby is also back. Well, it has been here for about 3 or 4 weeks, but no one's really been paying attention to it until now because of, obviously, the World Cup. And I tuned in this weekend now to, as you can see, there's a lot of packing and unpacking going on around me. There's moving house has been having to take priority, so I've only been able to watch these games on a laptop in the background while I'm unpacking, so you're going to get a similar level of analysis that you usually would if you just watched on TV. Without any further ado, let's get into the games. So I watched the Glasgow versus Stormers game. I thought a positive here was Glasgow's attack. It was really on my radar as something that I like the look of. That was a particularly interesting thing, especially with a Stormers side that I think made the final of the URC, still getting my bearings around this league, but Glasgow are interesting and I like the way they attack, even with all their subs on the bench. Internationals taking a rest. I don't know what's going on. I don't know. This week really was a week for the substitutes, the old bench warmers. They all got a good running out, and I think it really kind of showed teams that had quality in terms of their overall development plan rather than they're just starting 15. For example, we got to see the Leicester seconds are second rate and the Saracens seconds are non-existent, and so they played all their starters that were all involved in the World Cup. Good idea on pacing there, boys. I'm really sure it's going to work out for you. To be fair, maybe Saracens next week, they play more of substitutes to give them more of a rest, and they saw the Leicester game as a must-win. That might happen, so I'll hold off on calling out somebody for their coaching moves just yet, but I doubt that's going to happen. Once they start, they're starting, in my opinion. Quality rugby was there, but quality kits weren't. I mean, look at these two kits here. Are we really seriously saying that these are the best that English Premiership rugby can do? I know we're financially screwed right now, but does this mean that we have to have poor designs? I mean, what do colours cost? Surely you could just have like a different colour and a nicer pattern. Like, that's not going to cost more. Do we just have to have the shit patterns because we have no freaking money anymore? Anyway, rant over about the fashion choices, but other games that I watched as well, I saw Edinburgh play Leinster. Leinster's youngsters look good, and Edinburgh were left out in the cold. Sorry, poor pun. Looked bad for John Barkley, who made a prediction they were going to win the game, and Simon Ferris was there to criticise John as soon as it was half time. John, of course, had the same stone-faced reaction he always does and let out very little emotion, which is probably suppressed through years of being a Scottish open-side flanker, probably the best in the world, and being a team that did nothing. It's also good to see with my beginning and forte into the URC that the Welsh teams are included. This is obviously really working for them and really helping to bring their standard of rugby up to a decent level, right?
Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again.
I mean, anyway, that doesn't matter. The important thing is all the Welsh team members were actually playing the Barbars, right? So they should come back next week and clear things up. To be honest with you, I don't know what Wales are doing playing the Barbars straight after a World Cup, to be honest with you. One, it's maximising injury potential. And two, it means all your domestic clubs look like, you know, maybe they should just back off of trying to steal Eddie's croissants for one final run of his. Obviously, looking at news, Eddie has now left Australia officially, and I can't help but feeling he's the Donald Trump of rugby union. He comes in, he's bombastic, he's flamboyant, he says things such as,
"Hi Eddie, yeah, obviously Wales going for the Triple Crown on Saturday. Who's under more pressure given what's at stake?"
That's a good question. Maybe you can answer it for me with your accent.
And he always kind of just seems to get away with it after screwing the pooch on all of his operations. England on one and Australia the next. And now he's heading over to Japan, but best of luck to him. I mean, some of the best days of English rugby of recent years have been under Eddie Jones, so there are some positives, I suppose. Having seen the Welsh sides aren't doing so good, well, there was one exception of one play of a crossfield kick, where number 6 looked like a player that I recognise that used to play for Leinster and many other teams that wasn't Welsh and more Australian.
Hey, is that a...
Rocky Elsom.
Dan Bigger also buggered his back in the top 14, and Leigh Halfpenny seems to be going to the Crusaders as well. And it's a move that I enjoy and I welcome, and hopefully for him he has a decent opportunity to play really dominant rugby for a great club. I don't know. Razor's left, Richie's no longer the fly half. Are they going to be as dominant? I don't know. I'd feel bad if Leigh Halfpenny had to go play for another team in red that is completely incoherent and can't get themselves together. But that's neither here nor there. He's gone anyway, and I hope the best for him and the Crusaders. And I think the Super Rugby competition will be really interesting when it comes back to see, now that Razor's left and some key members have left or gone elsewhere, can they have the same dominance? It's going to be blown wide open. But that's it. That's Super Rugby. That comes another time. I gotta say, coming back into domestic rugby, there's been great fun. Premiership was fun, and the URC has been a bit of a whirlwind to get my head around so far, and I'm looking forward to watching more games. Disappointed I didn't watch any top 14, but, I can't watch them all, and I am unpacking, so I hope to hopefully watch more in the future. But that's it for me for an update for this week in rugby.